Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hey, on today's episode, whoa, look out! Sorry everyone, seems there is a slight shootout. Annie, get your gun. Annie, Get Your Gun is a musical with lyrics and music by Irving Berlin and a book by Dorothy Fields and her brother Herbert. The story basically is a fictionalized version of the life of Annie Oakley, a sharpshooter who starred in Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, and her romance with fellow sharpshooter Frank Butler. Dorothy Fields had the idea to star her friend Ethel Merman in a new musical about Annie Oakley. Fields decided to approach the producing team of none other than Rodgers and Hammerstein. They agreed to produce the musical and asked Jerome Kern to compose the music. Kern, who had been composing for movie musicals in Hollywood, returned to New York in 1945 to begin work on the score to Annie, Get Your Gun. However, 3 days later, tragedy struck when he collapsed on the street due to a cerebral hemorrhage. Kern would die 9 days later, and Irving Berlin would step in to write the musical's score. In order for Berlin to be able to write songs to fit this specific kind of musical, Hammerstein persuaded him to study the script and try writing songs based on what he read. Within a few days, Berlin returned with the songs Doin' What Comes Naturally, You Can't Get a Man with a Gun, and There's No Business Like Show Business. After Merman gave birth to her son, Dorothy Fields went to the hospital to ask if she would star in the show. Merman agreed, and Annie, Get Your Gun would open at the Imperial Theater in May of 1946, running for 1,147 performances. When the time came to send out national tour, Merman turned down the opportunity to continue with the show. Mary Martin was brought on to replace Ethel Merman, going on the road for approximately 2 years and belting out the songs, which actually had the effect of lowering her voice from its normal lyrical range to mezzo-soprano alto. Annie, Get Your Gun would transfer to the West End stage at the London Coliseum, where it would run for 1,304 performances. The show would then transfer to His Majesty's Theatre in Melbourne in July of 1947. Now, 1948 would see the show's first Broadway revival at New York City Center for a limited engagement of only 16 shows. The show would star Betty Jane Watson, Jack Whiting, and the infamous MGM Wicked Witch of the West, Margaret Hamilton. The musical had its second Broadway revival in 1966 at the Music Theater of Lincoln Center, playing for even a limited 8 shows before returning at the Broadway Theater for 78 performances. Ethel Merman would reprise her role as Annie, along with Jerry Orbach as Charles and Bruce Yarnell as Frank. Now, Bruce is best known for his role as Deputy Marshal Chalk Breeson in the final season of the American Western series Outlaws. Fast forward to 1977, Gower Champion would direct the show's revival at the Los Angeles Civic Light Opera, starring Debbie Reynolds as Annie. In 1986, the Chichester Festival Theater would host the first revival production, starring American rock singer Suzi Quatro as Annie, later transferring to the Theatre Royal in Plymouth and then to the Aldwych Theatre in London's West End. The production would also see a second short-lived revival in 1992 at the Prince of Wales Theatre in London, starring Kim Criswell as Annie. 7 years later, a third Broadway revival would open at the Marquis Theatre, playing for 1,045 performances. The revival would star Bernadette Peters as the infamous gunslinger herself, Annie Oakley, and the Dukes of Hazzard star Luke, played by Tom Wopat. This new production actually would be structured as a show within a show, set as a big top traveling circus. Several major dance numbers were added, including a ballroom scene. During the 1999-2000 Broadway run, the production would see Charlie's Angels star Cheryl Ladd, country music star Reba McEntire, and Happy Days star Crystal Bernard as Annie. The production would see a third major London revival in October of 2009. London's Guardian newspaper awarded the show 5 stars, claiming that Richard Jones's brilliant production offers the wittiest musical staging London has seen in years. In October 2015, a 2-night concert version was presented at the New York City Center Gala with NBC's star of Smash, Megan Hilty, and Broadway's Pretty Woman star Andy Karl. In April 2023, a one-night-only concert was presented at the London Palladium starring Wicked's Elphaba Rachel Tucker. Annie Get Your Gun has also had a well-received movie version produced by MGM Studios in 1950. Although MGM purchased the rights to the film version with an announced intention of starring legendary singer-actress Judy Garland as Annie, early work on the film was plagued with difficulties. Garland would later be replaced by the blonde and brassier Betty Hutton. The production is another landmark work of the American musical theater, and a classic example of the golden age of Broadway. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to today's video. If you enjoyed this, please comment on what you liked or disliked. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want to see other videos like this, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, that's a wrap.